Are you feeling frustrated by excess fat around your midsection? Hi everyone, welcome to Takuya Health Lab. Today, I'll introduce 10 things people who successfully reduce body fat do, even more than just exercising. I exercise every night, yet the fat around my stomach just won't disappear. Have you ever felt that way? Exercise is a wonderful habit, but when it comes to losing body fat, it's not always the most efficient method. In fact, there's a more effective method. So today, let's look at what people who successfully reduce body fat actually do. I'll introduce 10 powerful methods that are even more effective than exercise. I hope these tips help you. Now, let's dive in. 1. Maintain a calorie deficit. To reduce body fat, the most important foundation is maintaining a calorie deficit. You need to consume fewer calories than your body burns. Even if you work out hard, you won't lose fat if this calorie balance isn't in place. If you keep trying to drain water without turning off the faucet, it won't solve anything. In fact, research shows that trying to lose fat through exercise alone. Reports show that groups who didn't control their diet saw almost no weight loss. This happens because the number of calories you burn through exercise is far smaller than you might expect. A couple of cookies can quickly wipe out those burned calories. This is exactly why staying in a calorie deficit is so crucial. You should figure out how many calories you burn and make sure your intake doesn't exceed it. Let's be honest, counting calories feels troublesome, doesn't it? But relax, the remaining tips I'll share don't need calorie calculations. They allow you to naturally maintain a calorie deficit and burn fat more effectively. Plus, I'll introduce powerful psychology-based techniques you can start today. If you don't like crunching numbers, these tips will help. 2. Increase your protein intake. Eating a high-protein diet makes it easier to maintain a calorie deficit without tracking numbers. The greatest advantage is that you'll naturally reduce your food intake without feeling deprived. Having 3 boiled eggs or a protein shake in the morning can help your body fat decrease. Research from Washington University shows that. In the study, participants raised their protein intake from 15% to 30%. They were instructed to eat as much as they liked. Their appetite decreased significantly, and without realizing it, they ate about 400 fewer calories per day. As a result, they successfully lost an average of 5 kilograms in just 3 months. In simple terms, by increasing the protein portion in your regular diet, your appetite goes down, and body fat starts to decrease on its own. That's why I recommend having boiled eggs or drinking a protein shake before hunger kicks in. Having Greek yogurt as a snack is another effective option. By eating enough protein daily, you can avoid complicated calorie calculations. 3. Aim for 7 or more hours of good quality sleep. To lose body fat, sleep is important. People who stay lean consistently get good sleep. That's because sleep deprivation activates hormones that make you gain fat. With poor sleep, the appetite-suppressing hormone leptin drops, while ghrelin, which increases appetite, rises. As a result, you feel hungrier and want to eat more. That's why you may overeat after a sleepless night. Have you noticed that? That's actually your appetite being thrown off by sleep deprivation. Research shows that people who get 5 hours of sleep or less were reported to have a 50% higher risk of obesity compared to people who sleep at least 7 hours. There's also data showing that sleeping 6 hours is associated with a 23% higher risk of obesity. That's why improving your sleep is often the first step for fat loss. Try to get at least 7 hours of sleep each night. 4. Support your gut health. Lately, have you been relying on convenience store food, eating out often, and going to frequent drinking parties? If that sounds familiar, it's a warning sign. Those habits actually disrupt your gut environment and make it harder to lose fat. That's because good gut bacteria decrease, your metabolism slows, and body fat builds up more easily. In other words, improving your gut health makes fat loss much easier. Research shows that people who consumed fermented foods such as yogurt and kimchi daily saw an average 2.7% drop in body fat percentage over 12 weeks. Another study showed that people who took in 30 grams of fiber daily lost an average of 4.5 kilograms over 6 months, and their metabolism increased by an impressive 25%. In other words, your gut environment is directly linked to fat loss success. Try having yogurt every morning, or adding a side of kimchi or miso soup to your meals. You help increase beneficial fat-burning bacteria. 5. Eliminate food temptation triggers. Even though you want to avoid gaining weight and try to stay healthy, do you keep food sitting on your desk or kitchen counter? One easy trick for fat loss is to avoid leaving food in visible places. This is exactly why eliminating temptation triggers matters. Because even with strong willpower, humans naturally give in to temptation. When chocolate is right in front of you, it's natural to want to eat it. In one study, researchers looked at kitchens in regular households. They analyzed the link between items placed on kitchen counters and the body weight of the people living there. The results showed that households with cereal left out had residents who were about 9 kilograms heavier on average. In households where soda was left out, residents were about 11 kilograms heavier on average. In contrast, households that kept fruit in a bowl had residents who were about 6 kilograms lighter on average. In short, tidying your kitchen and keeping food out of sight. You can naturally make fat loss easier. Reducing body fat isn't about defeating temptation. It's about not having to fight it in the first place. For example, try keeping food inside cabinets or hidden in the back of the refrigerator. If you find yourself buying snacks every time, try going home without stopping at convenience stores. Let's start eliminating temptation triggers. 6. Avoid drinking juice. People who stay lean avoid getting calories from beverages. When they feel thirsty, they naturally reach for water, tea, or coffee instead of juice. This happens because calories from drinks disrupt your brain's satiety signals. Juices allow a lot of sugar to enter your body without any chewing, which quickly raises blood sugar levels. It's basically like sending sugar directly into your blood. This causes body fat to accumulate rapidly. In real research, when people consumed the same calories from solid food versus soda, the results showed. The group that drank soda didn't feel satisfied and ended up eating more later. It was reported that they consumed around 450 extra calories per day. In other words, drinking sugar-sweetened beverages is like adding one Big Mac to your daily diet. If you want to become leaner, it's time to say goodbye to sugary drinks. Try to develop the habit of choosing water, tea, or black coffee instead. 7. Take care of stress. You're juggling work and childcare, sleeping lightly, and waking up early. If this sounds like you, managing stress becomes especially important. That's because stress tends to lead to fat gain around the stomach. Research shows that people who experience chronic stress, compared to those with lower stress levels, tend to have a larger amount of visceral fat. Even if you work hard on diet and exercise, body fat will still increase if stress isn't managed. That's why it's helpful to create small moments of relaxation in your daily life. For example, you could do 30 minutes of yoga or gentle stretching after your bath. Going to a sauna or hot spring once a week, or simply walking after work, can also be effective. I encourage you to start a small habit of caring for yourself. Daily moments of relaxation help release stress, and even help your body let go of fat. 8. Expose yourself to sunlight in the morning. If you want to get leaner, begin by soaking in morning light to reset your internal clock. This helps shift your body into a fat-burning state. That's because your body is designed to activate its metabolism with morning light. If you spend your mornings sleeping and staying inside without getting any sunlight, your metabolism won't activate, your sleep quality declines, and your body becomes more prone to storing fat. In real research, obese women spent 3 weeks exposing themselves to morning sunlight. Their body weight didn't change much, but their body fat percentage and appetite were reduced. Researchers believe morning light positively affects appetite hormones and metabolism. Try to build the habit of getting morning sunlight every day. Spending just 15 to 30 minutes outside or near a window after you wake up is very effective. However, if you're too busy to get daily sunlight and spend most of your time indoors, in that case, consider supporting your body with vitamin D and K supplements. 9. Get into the habit of brushing your teeth right after meals. Have you made a habit of brushing your teeth as soon as you finish eating? Brushing your teeth immediately after meals is surprisingly effective for dieting. This works due to a psychological principle known as the sunk cost effect. When you brush your teeth, you feel your mouth is clean, and you naturally don't want to mess that up. As a result, you're less likely to reach for fattening snacks like chips or ice cream at night. If you often snack after dinner, brushing your teeth immediately after eating can really help. Research has found that the more frequently people brush their teeth after eating, the lower their obesity rates tend to be. It's been reported that people who skip brushing their teeth at night have a higher risk of obesity and metabolic problems. 10. Let go of perfectionism. Have you ever gone all in on a diet, only to find it didn't last? That's a sign you've fallen into the perfectionism trap. There's a saying, those who chase perfection often stop before finishing. Research shows that completely forbidding specific foods while dieting, a group that followed strict rules with precise calorie counting, and a flexible group that believed, if you overeat today, just adjust tomorrow, were compared to a flexible group that ate smaller portions but still allowed themselves to enjoy favorite foods. The results showed that the flexible group successfully lost weight and maintained it for an entire year. On the other hand, the strict group did lose weight at first, but they experienced more stress-related eating, which led to a higher rebound rate. In short, people with a flexible mindset succeed at dieting more than perfectionists. That's why I recommend easing up on perfectionist behaviors just a bit. How did you like it? We hope the tips we shared today help you live a healthier life. Thank you so much for watching until the end. Today is the youngest day of your life, let's start with a small step. We'll keep sharing helpful tips, so please like the video and subscribe to the channel.